Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Now, y'all got to forgive me that you can't see me now. And I'm out here looking like 12:01 a.m. But I'm at my son's soccer practice and just finished coaching. And wanted to pop on here. It has been a little busier than normal. And here lately, and I had to go up to the memorial for my friend. And had to drive back because I was supposed to have an 8 a.m. but I ended up having to cancel it because I didn't get back in till probably 5:30, 6 a.m. and I was so tired. Well, I was able to cut some lights on, but it's a little kind of embarrassing because a lot of people walking by and they're gonna be looking all in my car. What is he in there doing? But I want to touch on this because I was actually just coaching a client and in a makeup session, and I was telling her about how you should never, now we know the Christian rules and all of that, but I'm just speaking realistically because every day I talk to a Christian woman who is fornicating or a Christian man who is fornicating. So yes, we all know that you is too old and grown to be having sex outside of marriage, but we all know that 90 to 95% of people who are single are not abstinent. So therefore, we got to speak on this in this way. But one of the things we have to realize is that I'm gonna help y'all understand guy math when it comes to a woman's body count. So the way a man breaks this down, and I'm gonna articulate this because I've never heard a man articulate it, but a man assumes that if a woman is not a virgin, she sleeps with a minimum of one guy per year from the year she lost her virginity. So if a man asks you, if he asks you when you lost your virginity, he is going to assume that you've slept with a minimum of one man per year since that year. So if you are 30 years old and you tell a man that you lost your virginity at 15, he is going to assume that your number of men that you have slept with is a minimum of 15 men. Now, your number may actually be 5. If he is bold enough to ask you how many men have you slept with and you say 5, he is still going to assume your number is 15 because J. Cole told him that any number you say, he has to multiply it by 3. You may actually be telling the truth about 5. He's going to assume it is 15 because men believe everything that rappers say. So the number is 15. So if you want the number to be 5, then the answer would have to be none of your business, or you would be telling a lie and saying the number is 1 or the number is 2. And at 2, the best you're going to make out is 6. Now, yes, there are exceptions to the rule, but not really. So understand that. Meaning, yes, there's exceptions to the rule. Like 1 out of 100 men will give you the benefit of doubt and believe you. But men today in 2024 and 2025 are not in the business of giving women the benefit of the doubt. Men are not looking at women as trustworthy, as honest, as upstanding, as respectable, loyal, any of that. So you are not getting the benefit of the doubt from the man. Now, if you get with a man and you start talking to this man on the phone, on FaceTime, y'all go on dates, and you sleep with a guy, however fast you sleep with him, he's going to multiply that into the year. So let me help you understand what I mean by this. If you sleep with a man in the first month, you just told that man that you sleep with 12 men a year. If you are 30 and you lost your virginity at 15, that is 15 years times 12. So to that man, you have slept with 190 men. So 12 times 12 is 144. 15 times 3 is 45. So 189 men you have slept with. That's what you just told that man by sleeping with him inside of 1 month at the age of 30, and you lost your virginity at 15. If you are 30 and you lost your virginity and you tell a man you're not a virgin, but you don't tell him what year you lost your virginity, he's going to assume that you've slept with at least, that you average one man a year from the age of 18. So your number will be 12, even if your number is 1. So you know how when you talk about girl math, this girl math, like, oh, I got $25 off if I spend $100. So I got a free $25. Like, no, you spent $100 when you could have spent $25. And so that's guy math. You sleep with 12 men a year because you smelt his cologne and had some good red wine and had a good date, smelt that cologne. Now you sleep with 12 men a year when really he the first man you done slept with in the last 4 years. But see, that's guy math. You don't get the benefit of the doubt. And that is why, if you are a single woman and you want to be taken seriously and you want to be a wife, you have to keep your legs closed. You have to keep your legs closed. If you are going to fall in the bed, if you're going to choose to live in sin and to join your podcasters who are Christian fornicators, the worst you can do, the best you need, or the worst you need to be, is sleeping with a man after the 6-month mark. Because now you go into the 1 to 2 men a year. If you, and listen, if you get past the 9-month mark, you're doing even better. Past the 10-month, 11-month, you're doing better. If you get to month 13, now that right there, really, if you say I can't wait till marriage, I don't believe in waiting till marriage, then if you get to month number 13, you still could be considered a wife. If you get past month number 6, you still could be considered a wife. You sleep with a man inside of 6 months, you're a thought. You're a thought. You're a Passover. I hate to break it to you. Oh, but Tony, I'm not like that. That's not how I do. I never do that. I feel so bad. I'm a good catch. No, that's not how that works. You might be a good catch now, but you a fumble. You might be a good catch, but listen, it just don't go together. Just like the Bible say, a good tree does not produce bad fruit, and a bad tree does not produce good fruit. So you can't be a good catch and a loose booty. It does not go together. You are a good catch in your mind, but you're not good catch to no man. I hate to break it to you. Oh, well, what about the man? Just everything got to be on a woman. No, everything have to be you on your own responsibility. Don't worry about the man. You keep your legs closed and you stop worrying about what the man is doing, because the man have videos specifically for him. And he getting talked to specifically for him. You can't go into a relationship and say, oh, I'm finna be thotty Mick Thotty because he is supposed to respect my body. No. Bevo Lottie. You finna get slept with and you finna get left. So in love and war, all is fair. You cannot expect someone to come in who does not know you and expect them to have your best interest at heart. No. A man going to see, do you love yourself? Do you respect yourself? Or are you willing to catch this concoction of bacteria in your vaginosis? Are you willing to get on Monostat and Vagisil for this man? Do you want a STD, sexually transmitted disease, or a spiritually transmitted disease for this man? He's going to see what you stand on, and do you stand on business? Or do you not know your worth and you are loose-bootied? And if you are loose-bootied, you're going to be empty-fingered, meaning no ring. Or you are going to get a ring from a man who is a male gigolo. He is a womanizer. And we talking about today. A lot of y'all sometimes, well, Tony, what about you and your wife? That was 2005. We in 2024 with the internet, with gossip blogs, with these here type of podcasts, with YouTubers. You have no excuse. You have no more excuse. All of your excuses is out the window. See, back then a woman could play on, oh, I'm naive. Oh, I'm dumb. Oh, I don't know no better. Oh, church only get taught on Sunday. Oh, the church don't talk about fornication. All that right there. Now, you meet a man, he gonna say, especially if you black, he gonna say, I know this heifer know who Tony Gaskins is. I'm just telling what he gonna say now. Y'all got to get out your feelings. He gonna say worse than heifer now. He gonna say, I know she know who Tony Gaskins is. I know she know who Steve Harvey is. I know this thing know about the 90-day rule. So she got all this information and she on her bike. Oh, she ain't worth 2 red nickels. Out of here. But then here go women. Well, what does that say about him? If he's trying to say, I'm not worth 2 red nickels, he's not worth 2 red nickels. Okay, and you single and you are left. And he know he not worth 2 red nickels. But if he decide you not worth 2 red nickels, now both of y'all is broke, busted, and disgusted, not worth 2 red nickels, and still single, and now you have another body added to your list. So stop projecting. Stop. I get tired of seeing women in the comments talking about, what about the man? What about you? That's all you can control. You can't control no man. He have to answer to God. He gonna hear from me and everybody else that's telling him about being dirt diggler and being nasty McPatty and filthy McGusty. He got to hear about that, but that's on him. You have to worry about you. Stop trying to be a thought in the name of somebody else's accountability, and you need to have your accountability and come out of, you need to cast that spirit of little dummy out of you. You gotta cast that spirit of little dummy up out of you and get your life all the way together, because you are getting nasty out here sleeping with these men. And now I was listening to these guys the other day. We're gonna pivot the conversation. I was listening to these guys today. yesterday on the drive because I was trying to get home, and these two gentlemen was on a podcast, and it was two brothers. I'm not trying to send them send the podcast no views or nothing, because I really don't want you to go over there and get confused. Some of y'all already know what podcast I'm talking about. Don't mention it in the comments or you're gonna get blocked, because you heard me expressly say don't mention it in the comments. So I see you mention in the comments, you blocked. Just go ahead and start your new page to get back in the comments and get blocked on your new page. But I don't want to drive no views to foolishness. But there was a podcast, and there was two young men on there, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever watched in my life. It was one of the most low brain cell conversations I have ever heard. It was absolutely atrocious. You got two men who talking about stuff that don't even matter. Should a man pay all the bills? We live in 2024. A man can't pay all the bills if he wanted to pay all the bills. If he had everything inside of him, and the guy who's saying a man should pay all the bills, and that's why I know y'all say, well, Tony, what about you? I am a millionaire. Meaning I earn over $1 million+ a year. That is an exception to the rule. I'm not gonna put my standard on every man, because I know that I am an anomaly. I do not know another black male in person who earns $1 million+ a year. So that lets me know, yes, I hear people say they do that, but I don't know anyone personally who I know in person, and he could show me his bank account, he could show me his Stripe account that he earned, or whatever, his payment processor, that he earned $1 million+ a year. I don't know another black man. So that's an anomaly. So therefore, and then the brother who's saying a man should pay all the bills, he's selling a product saying it cure liver disease or some kind of disease. He finna bust hell wide open, because he know good and well if he had a product that do what he say it do, he'll be in the Hall of Fame, in the Naismith, he'll be in the Smithsonian, he'll be a billionaire. The U.S. government will be calling him about the patent, about the product, if it do that. He talking about reverse. They talking about this reverse your mama. I say, now y'all is dumb for repeating this foolishness. It reverse your mama liver cancer or something. I say, is y'all serious? So I say, this is why he doing this pandering to sell this liver juice. I say, this is an absolute lie. That mess ain't doing all that. I send you over there to wealthofhealth.com to get my elderberry gummies, but I'm not finna tell you, hey, my elderberry, it'll heal my glaucoma. My elderberry gummies done heal my liverosis. Get them elderberry gummies. No, I'm not finna tell you no lie like that so I could bust hell wide open. And then on top of that, the man selling fake liver heal pills or whatever it was, juice or something. Then everything he said, he was hollering. He was hollering the whole. I'm driving and I need to stay awake. He about had me ready to drive into a tree. I was ready to end it all. I'm like, why is he yelling? And then the other guy that was on there, y'all told me, a few of y'all told me, Tony, can you address this gentleman? He is in the red pill. He be bashing women all day, every day. Well, on this particular thing, I would say about 90% of what he said was accurate. The only thing I really didn't agree with what he was talking about is that a man shouldn't date a single mom. And I'm like, what world you think you finna meet a woman like without a child? I mean, it's women without children, but yeah, they 11. It's like, man, that's not a woman. So it's like the women without children. I meet women every day on coaching calls without children, but it's like, yeah, it might not be enough of them to go around. But if you meet a woman with a child, it's like, okay, you're a grown man. Like, okay, she got a child, you're a grown man. Like, that shouldn't deter you. You grown. Like, I understand, like, now if she got 3, 4, 5 children and you finna have to have daddy daycare, she wants you to stay home and take care of the kids while she go work. I'm like, okay. And then he was saying the woman need to go back to her ex. It's like she not with her ex for a reason. It's like you don't just go back to no ex just because y'all got kids together. That's dumb. So the kids could watch y'all fussing and fighting, knock down, drag out. That's stupid. You better off as a strong single mother raising your children with as a strong single mother than going back to a toxic relationship that you had to leave in the first place. So that's why I say, okay, he's saying that because he may have children with his wife that he said was there with him, and he trying to trap her, and he don't want her to leave his smart aleck behind, because I could tell he got a smart mouth, and I could tell he have his wife want to kick his teeth down his throat. I know on everything I love, that woman be looking at him in his face ready to kick his teeth down his throat and watch him choke on her. And she not finna render CPR till he on the last tooth. Then she gonna give him 2 little pumps on the chest. And then she gonna say, well, my hand wasn't strong enough, so I had to dusty roll elbow you. And sorry about that. That elbow ain't work, so I had to get the bottom of my foot and stomp that on there to get that last tooth out your throat. So I say, he said, and that's why I try to tell y'all, you gotta realize when we speaking, we speak from where we are. We speak from where we are. And the other buddy who was saying a man need to pay all the bills, he may be paying all the bills, but look what he got to do. Sell liver juice to pay the bills. It's like, if I have to lie about the claims of my product to pay the bills, then I don't want to pay the bills. I can't pay all the bills then. Sorry. I ain't gonna be able to pay all the bills. So he doing a bunch of pandering, telling women a man need to be paying all the bills. No. You as a grown woman, get up and go work. If you got a man and he work a regular job and that is what his degree earns him, it's like, unless he doing osteoporosis, he a obstetrician to where he can make $400,000 a year, or he a plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills, this man degree not finna earn him enough money in 2025 to take care of no whole household. If you want a good school, a good house, a good neighborhood, not without him having to get drunk every night or hire prostitutes when he on the business trips. He not finna make no good money just stress-free. So if you want the man to have a liver and a kidney and to live past 56, then you need to go work as a woman until the Lord bless him to get in a place to where he could earn that kind of money. If the Lord take and bless him, he could get in a place he could earn that kind of money, then sit down. But you just can't be expecting nobody to sit you down as no woman in no 2025. It's like the days of a loaf of bread being 10 cents is long gone. And gas being a nickel, it's long gone. Y'all finna be sleeping under a bridge. If you expect a man to pay all the bills, you finna be under the bridge, or you finna have him sitting on podcasts, bumping his chiclets, his veneers, hollering about his liver juice cure cancer to pay the bills. So now your husband going to hell because he got liver cancer juice that cure cancer, and got these people drinking this stuff or taking these pills, whatever it was. I don't know what kind of product it was they were selling, but it was. And then here go the host. Yeah, so you got a good product, huh? And so now your product heal your mama leukemia? Man, that is amazing. And you got 1,000 5-star reviews? That is amazing. You could get any person in India to give you 1,000 5-star reviews for $5 a month. That don't mean nothing. And we can't trust these people. We cannot trust nobody who say that a man should have to pay all the bills in 2025. We can't trust nobody. Like, yes, so when I say, yeah, a man should provide, a man should pay for the date and all of that. But no, I believe in 2 incomes because of this here inflation. Now, if we just had inflation or fashion or shown, then the man could pay all the bills. But with this inflation, he can't afford all that. He cannot afford all of that. And unless he is Lil Boosie, INDEPENENT, unless he Lil Boosie, he can't afford all of that. Here go the lady being nosy. She keeps circling by my car because she trying to see what I'm doing on the phone. Man, get on your walk now. She see the lights on. She trying to see what is he going on. Oh, Karen. Come on now, Karen. Go on about your business. And so this is what you have to realize. So ladies, I know that bust your bubble because y'all thought that I was a panderer. I'm not no panderer. I'm going to call a spade a spade. And so here go. Now, this is the thing. Buddy talking about, oh, man should pay all the bills. And a man should date single moms. Okay, now you asking for too much. Nah. So now you want the man to be with a single mom and pay all the bills. That is spoken like a true short king. I would venture to bet that this man that was on that podcast is 5'8" or shorter. Now, and that right there, and if he is 5'8" or shorter, I might give him 5'9". But I don't think that's nothing a 5'9" man would say. So he could very well be 5'4" to 5'6". And there's a lot of 5'4" to 5'6" men that will not say that. But if a man say date a single mom and pay all of her bills with her child who come from another man, so absolve another man of his duties too. So it's like, yeah, okay, if you're going to be with that woman, then you got to treat that child like your child now. But she got to work. Ma'am, you're going to have to work. Ma'am, you're going to have to work unless the man a millionaire. And I'm going to tell you, as millionaires, we tight. In this economy, men who make $1 million+ a year is still tight. Because guess what? If you make $1 million+ a year, all your friends, all your family, taxes, everything, getting your family to the neighborhood that match your income, getting your wife and your kids in the cars that match your income, all of that stuff in the schools that match your income, all of that now decrease your income. When you get that house, when you get them cars, when you get that school, when you take the vacation, you can't take your child, you can't make 7 figures as a man and take your family on the 3 free night vacation at Daytona Beach if you willing to do the timeshare tour. You can't, your woman not trying to hear that. I'm not finna go on this 9-hour tour to get a time trade in Daytona Beach, which is now Tona Beach, because it's so raggedy and ran down. I'm not finna get no timeshare in Ona Beach after this 9-hour tour, and we in the room sleeping with Tom, Dick, and Harry. Those the 3 roaches, and they got a whole family. No, you make 7 figures. Your family want to go to the Amalfi Coast. Your family want to go to Turks and Caicos. You're not going to Daytona Beach if you make $1 million+. So now your money is funny. So guess what you need? You need your woman to work. You need your woman to work. Now, see, the thing about it is what I'm doing, this is my lot in life. This my stress. This my worry. This my robbing Peter and the pay Paul. I'm not gonna put that on no another man. I'm not finna hold that as a standard for another man, because every man not built the same. This right here, what I'm doing, will make an average man blow his brains out. So I'm not gonna put that on nobody. So, because it's not realistic, and you can't expect that. You cannot expect that. That is what you call an exception to the rule. And so listen to me. So I'm watching the podcast. Both of these guys, they had some points or whatever that made a little bit of sense. But honestly, whether they knew it or not, the points that made sense, they was saying the same thing I be saying. And a couple times they kind of used my exact quotes. Like, they didn't even realize that the stuff they were saying was my quotes, was my teachings. So I'm like, okay, look at these guys that I done helped raise, and they teaching on this here stuff. Especially the guy with cause nobody say make love to a woman mind, not her body. That's what the guy who got the liver juice or whatever he's selling, that's what he said. The other guy, he was more so in his own kind of little thoughts. He really didn't. Now, what he was hitting on was about character. The other guy who said don't date no single mom, he was talking about, what about character? What about a woman being with a man for his character? And y'all know I always teach, let a man's character be his currency. So so when a man is thinking right, we're gonna say the same thing. When a man is a grown man or in any degree, we're gonna say the same thing. We're gonna have some, but what I was saying is that 80% could be positive, but that if that 20% is off, that 20% could kill you. So you got to think about that. You got to be mindful of that. That 20% could kill you. And so that's what I be trying to get these men to understand. Like, listen, man, everything you say got to make sense. Everything have to line up. Like, it just, if you telling a man don't date a single mom, then you're gonna have a lot of single men who are not qualified to be single and abstinent. They don't know how to be single and abstinent. So some of these men are gonna have to be with a single mom, but also it's not enough men who don't have kids. So it's more men who got kids than not. Now, I know some guys without kids, but I can count them on one hand. Most guys got kids. And so the ones and a lot of guys, I know guys without kids who still married. And, because they couldn't be single and abstinent. And so I say that to say, but now with a short king, oh yeah, he gonna be talking about pay all the bills. You could come over here with them baby kids. I'ma sit you down. I'ma sit your baby kids down. I'ma sit they daddies down. And yeah, I'm gonna let all y'all stand on my shoulders. I ain't nothing but 5'4", but all y'all can stand on my shoulder. I'm gonna take care of all y'all with this liver cleanse juice. And go on here and do this here pandering on here. Cause boy, listen, we finna get took care of now. And so now it's this here pandering and just saying stuff that don't make sense to women or to men. And cause the other guy, he's saying stuff to the men. So both of them is pandering, but one of them pandering to men, one of them pandering to women. And that's all it was. But ain't nobody calling it straight down the middle to where you offend both. When you call it straight down the middle, you gonna offend both genders. Both genders gonna be mad with you. Oh, well, Tony, you rude. Talk about a man ain't got to pay all the bill. And then the men gonna be mad. Oh, you rude. Talk about I supposed to be okay dating a single mom. And it's like, you ain't special. Like, you ain't special. It's like, okay, if you don't want no single mom, then get you one without no kids. But that don't guarantee she gonna be pretty and everything else you trying to say you want. So it's like, typically, a lot of times, a single mom is a single mom because a man wanted her. And he done got her in the bed, got her pregnant, and then didn't want to uphold the rest of the bargain. So he move on with his life. And so that's what you got to realize and understand. It's like, it's a lot of women get finessed in the bed. And that's how they end up a single mom. Because a lot of men want to do what it takes to have a child, but then don't want the child. Want to do the crime and not do the time. Just like these thugs who snitching. How you want to be a thug, then you want to be a snitch? No, do your time. Get what come with it. You want to get out there. You want to be Mr. Tough Guy. Get what come with it. That right there is a clear example of men today. Want to have sex unprotected, but then don't want the woman to have the baby. And then want to talk about you finna vote for Trump. So you want to have unprotected sex. And Kamala, sinful behind, she probably want a clinic on every corner. So, but now with Trump, your woman's not gonna be able to get to no clinic. So now you finna create a broken home. Because you want to sleep around. And then you want her to go get it taken care of. But then also talking about you voting for Trump. But he don't want a woman to have a right over her body. So now your woman gonna have to cross somebody's border and go illegally terminate a child, which is wrong. But she should not have to even be put in that place because y'all should not be having sex. And if y'all gonna have sex, y'all shouldn't be having unprotected sex. And all of it still sin. So Lord come back, you're gonna bust hell wide open. But so understand that right there. Is it worth all that? No. I don't think it's no cooter bear in the world worth busting hell wide open. Once you know better. The Lord gracing you now, trying to let you know better. But one day you're gonna be right in there power stroking and that rapture gonna come. You gonna hear that trumpet. And next thing you know, you open your eyes in hell. Oh, Lord. Lord, I just wanted me one more. I just wanted to squeeze me one more out. Lord, I'm about to change tomorrow. Just like the Winans brother told you. Tomorrow. Better give your life today. And so listen, this is the thing. We have a lot of misunderstanding and miscommunication. So, and this is the genders, and we create these conversations. So here we have this conversation. The conversation should have been with a man and a woman, not two men. Because it's two men arguing with each other, but a man don't procreate with a man. So men need to be having conversation across from a woman. And a man need to be able to have bass in his voice, talking to this woman, not yelling and all of that, and not trying to punk her, but be able to talk directly without having to be. And the guy with the liver juice, I would not want to see him talking to no woman because he kept calling the man beautiful. I can imagine him talking to a woman because he was talking about the man was beautiful. I said, my goodness, how many times you gonna talk about this man got a beautiful mind? I'm like, did you write the movie? How many times you gonna say this man articulate himself very beautifully? Can you come up with another word? Like, my goodness, boy, you must be voting for Kamala in the LGBTQIAMNNOP QRS TUZ WSY Elemental P. I'm like, my goodness, you call this man beautiful one more time, I'm about to find somebody bridge. And so this thing, I lost so many brain cells, I had to stop it. I had to pause. I had to pray. I had to talk out loud. I had to do a breathing technique. I had to take deep breaths. Lord, please. Oh, Lord, give me, because I don't like speaking on stuff without listening all the way through. I said, Lord, please give me a little more strength and power to get through this. This conversation is terrible. And so we talking about, should a man pay all the bills? And they spent an hour arguing about Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. I said, Jesus be a something. Lord, I don't know what Lord, I don't know what I want you to be. But I'm like, why are we arguing over Adam and Eve when neither one of them had bills? There was no bills to be paid. Adam ain't have to provide nothing for Eve. Eve ain't even had no clothes. So what do this have to do with a man providing for a woman? And then they spent 30 minutes arguing over the word also and with. This how you know this is a low-level conversation from Satan. The conversation, they got so stuck in the conversation arguing about Adam and Eve that the host, who's supposed to be trying to be a Christian now, he went back to cussing. He was like, I don't know why the H we. He said, I actually done forgot why the H we. I say, boy, they got the host cussing. I said, he supposed to be, and then that same host at the end, he talking about, the guys were talking about they respect each other and they got along good in the conversation. He was like, that's because the Holy Spirit. I say, oh, Lord. I say, Lord, hold the lightning. I said, hold the lightning, Lord. This man just got done cussing. And then he talking about some Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit ain't in there. And then this how I knew the whole conversation was finna be throwed off. When the guy, now the man could be 6'4". I was not looking at the guys because I was driving. So I was not looking at them. The man could be 6'4". But he sounded short to me. The stuff he was saying, I say, this sound like something what y'all call a short king. This don't sound like no man above the height requirement. And so he could be though. I don't know. But he did not sound like it. And so he told me, can I open up in prayer? I said, oh my goodness. I said, why are we praying on a podcast with two men who is not even Christian? These men not even Christians. They still exploring. They still wondering. They still working on their walk with the Lord. I mean, they might be Christian, but this not no Christian podcast. God not finna come in that room to have this low-level conversation about Adam and Eve and whether Adam was standing next to Eve or whether Eve had to walk the apple to Adam and all that. The Lord, like, they had the Holy Spirit under a pillow somewhere. Holy Spirit had to leave. I say, my goodness, man. I say, that's why I can't do podcasts no more, man. Because this stuff, I'm like, these the conversation we having. I said, boy, my goodness. So listen to me. It's a lot of misinformation. And everybody got a voice. Everybody talking and don't know what they talking about. Everybody misleading. Everybody is just throwing stuff out for their audience. So it's like, here go one type of man want the praise of men. Another type of man want the praise of women. But it ain't many of us that want to call it right down the middle and be fair on both sides and really use common sense. And anytime the host was trying to ask good questions. They were trying their best. And anytime them hosts asked a clarifying question that was finna have these young men spinning in their mess, they went to, can you say that again? Can you break that down again? Yeah, can you ask me in another way? It's like, no, you heard the question, and you heard that the question finna expose that what you saying is you full of crap. So, can you explain that one more time? Now, what you mean by that? Okay. So what I was saying is that Thursday is after Wednesday. And what Thursday is the third before the day. And then Friday after Thursday. All right, next question. See, this is what we have to understand. See that? How I just went? I said, oh my goodness. Because the man who was saying, oh, a man shouldn't date no woman with kids. A woman need to go back to her baby daddy. So then the man was like, so are you saying, the host was like, so are you saying a woman should go back to an abusive relationship, a toxic relationship, so that she don't have to be a single mom and move on with her life? Here he go. What do you mean by that? Explain it again. Ask that in another way. I see. I just got on the horn. I just about to start running people off the road. I was so stressed. I said, oh my goodness. Oh, and then the guy who was saying a man should pay all the bills. The host tried to clarify on him and say, so what about the guy who is on the come up? And he wants to get in a relationship, but he don't make what y'all making to be able to take care of a woman fully. Should he not get in a relationship? Now and he was like, no, he shouldn't. But it's like the Bible says it's better to marry than to burn. So should he just burn with lust and be in fornication just because he don't make the money to sit a woman down? And so should he wait until he in his 30s or 40s when a man really start to maybe be able to make enough money to sit a woman down? So what he supposed to do from 18 to 45? The average man, not the average 20-year-old, not the average 25-year-old, the average black man in America make 42, 36 to 49,000 a year. Well, depending on where you reading it at. That's not finna take care of two people. He barely got enough toilet tissue for his own behind. At that right there kind of income, he needs some help. He's like, man, listen. He's like, man, I need you to work. And honestly, we both might need to work 2 jobs. The way this milk is milking, the way this gas, and the way this inflation is looking, baby, we both gonna have to pick up 2-3 jobs. Baby, who you listen to? That's Tony Gaston. Ask me, he got a virtual assistant job for me. With me and you. I take one email, you take the other email, baby. Write them. Hey, baby, you know I'm secure. I don't care about you listening to him. Just ask him, do he got any kind of hiring he doing? It's like, and so when they ask him that, so should the man just not be in a relationship? Like you saying that a woman can't be with the man? Here he go. Break that down for me. Ask that. Can you ask that another way? Can you further explain what you're saying? He confused the host. The host was like, well, how else can I really say this? Like, okay, all right. So for the sake of clarification, okay. So if a man is on the come up, I say, boy, me and Caleb I'm gonna have to get Caleb to move back to the city so we can get in person and start doing our podcast with real conversation, with good conversation. I say, boy, look here. I say, if this what these women have to look forward to for advice, this kind of advice these men giving, I said, boy, y'all finna be up a creek without a paddle. You hear me? You finna be in hell on earth with no fan. I say, boy, it's finna get bad. I said, boy, if I take a vacation, y'all finna be through. Y'all is finna be through. That, and then the one guy, he said, Adam was beguiled by Eve. I said, debate is over with. When a black man say the word beguiled, you not finna out debate him. When a African American man say the word beguiled, you through for. He finna fillet you. You hear me? He finna fillet you and just rip the spine of bones right on out your back. You not finna out talk no man like that. A woman can't out talk him. A woman, his wife be stressed. She be like, oh, man. She be calling her girlfriend. I have never won an argument against this man. Nothing I say. I was looking in his closet and I come to find out he wrote the movie Great Debaters. He knows Denzel. I say, yeah, you're not finna beat this man. This man could tell you the sky is purple and reflected off the Arctic Ocean in the Atlantic of Alaska. And that's why it's blue. And you finna lose that debate. When the man say beguiled, and then he said a couple other words, I said, it's over with. Cause the other guy who I say sound like a short king, the longest word he said probably had 6 letters in it. So I said, yeah, he through for. He is through for. And he kept doing the laugh that men with the spirit of a little ugly do. Anytime Buddy went to tan him up, I said, oh my goodness. Woo! I said, boy, y'all need to come to my school. Sit down and let me talk to y'all, man. Let me help y'all fellas out so we can have productive, healthy marriages around here. Cause I'm gonna tell you, if I go to falling on hard times, baby, baby, do you think is Indeed.com still working, or did they go out of business in the recession as well? Indeed. INDEED. Would you be able to get on there? And also Monster.com. Would you be able to get on? And also the classifieds out the newspaper. I'm not finna sit there and down my sword, talk about I'm finna pay all the bills, baby. I'm gonna need you to put that master's degree to work. Cause that's what the economists say. I'm gonna need you to work. It's like, and that don't make you less than a man. It's like, yes, you less than a man if bread is 10 cents and you making $50 and bread 10 cents and you want your woman to be working. Yeah, you might be less than a man then. But it's like people forget that when a woman didn't work, she also couldn't vote. She also couldn't go get an education. She also couldn't get a job that would pay her fair wages. She losing money going to work. Back when women did not work. Now, if a woman is a stay-at-home mom, if a woman is a stay-at-home mom, the woman is with a man who make high 6 figures and he frugal. I know a man. Prime example. I know a man who is a billionaire. And he live in a $1.5 million house and drive a $80,000, $90,000 car as a billionaire. And I know men who barely a millionaire and drive $500,000 cars. So even men who make money to where their wife don't have to work, they frugal. I know a man who drive a SUV that's about 10, 15 years old. But his wife drive a Benz truck. His daughter drive an Audi truck. He got a beach house that's worth over $1 million. And he got a house that's worth over $1 million. But yet he drive a 10 to 15 year old because he's sacrificing. He ain't got no designer. He ain't got now Louis, now Gucci, now nothing. He wearing Cole Haan and Express by the Tommy Bahama, by the best it's gonna get. You hear me? So this what you got to realize is these the kind of and these the kind of men. But guess what? And even with that, they ain't spending all that. They ain't spending all that money. Like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna give you this right here, baby. You get this watch, you get this ring, you get this right here. But guess what? Even that man that I'm thinking about on top of my head, guess what? His wife got a business. She don't have to work. Her business might not make no lot of money, but she got a business and it making decent money. She got a brick and mortar business. Prime example. Here go a man who touch M's now. Who touch M's, $4 million a year, and his wife work. All the other men that I know, that they millionaires, they wife is running a company or working. Even if they open a franchise, like a juice bar or something like that, they still have income. So all that, a woman ain't supposed to work, because otherwise, okay, if you're not working, then what that means? That means that dinner supposed to be cooked every day and the house supposed to be clean. Do you want that? No, because now you're going to feel like iRobot. So you might as well go live your passion and do a little bit of work and stop focusing on exceptions to the rule. Like, the reason why my wife does not work is because our son was born 2.5 months early. And he was sick and he came home with a feeding tube in his stomach. So we had to get up every hour and a half to wash out the feeding bag and remix the oatmeal and water and start his feeder again, and then do it again in another. We was going delirious, waking up, our sleep being broken every 90 minutes for 2, 3, 4 months. And then when he got off the feeding tube, he still was sick. He was sick, and when my wife went back to work, she got fired because she had to call off of work to go pick him up from daycare 3 out of the 5 days out the week. That's why my wife did not work, because our son was sick for like the first 7, 8, 9 years of his life with a weak immune system. So see, people look at exceptions to the rule and then try to paint with this broad stroke. And so that's the thing. And it's like, even with the dating a single mom, there's nothing wrong with a single mom. It's like relationships go wrong. People choose wrong. It's like you can't be held, and then you can't say you believe in God and want somebody to be held prisoner to their past mistake for the rest of their life. And want them to consider their child a mistake. And then consider their child a warden that requires them to go back to the prison of a relationship they were in with their child's father. That's not Christ-like. Because if Christ can forgive prostitutes and adulterous women, how would he want a woman who is a single mom to remain in the prison of a toxic relationship? That's not of Christ. So you can't say you believe in Christ and the redeeming power and the forgiving power, and then you can't say you walking like Christ, or you really believe in Christ, if you want a man to look down on a woman based on a relationship that didn't work out. Because the very same thing could happen to a man. But the reason why it don't happen to some men is because they able to coerce that woman into going to getting it terminated. Or they able to run off on the woman like they never had a child, so the new woman don't even realize the man got kids. I just coached a woman who found out right before wedding bells that her man had kids. But she hadn't invested too much. told too many people, did too much, said too much, wedding about to walk down the aisle in a few weeks, and then she find out the man had kids. And not only did he have kids, he had multiple kids from multiple women. I ain't even gonna say the number because I'm gonna let her tell her story when she get ready. I said, wow. So that's what happened. So here this man finessed this woman, got her all the way to the aisle, and then say, basically he said, go through the shame and the embarrassment and the humiliation of calling off our engagement, or accept me for my past choices and love me through it. Men ask women to do that every day. So why can't a woman ask a man to understand that she have children from previous relationships if he claimed to be a man? It's like, you grown. It's honestly more dangerous for the woman with a child to be with a man than it is for a man to be with the woman with children, because that man could touch that woman's children. Them children are not going to do nothing to intimidate or harm or hinder a grown man. That grown man could take care of himself, but that woman is more at risk being a single mother, because she got these kids who could be abused, coerced, touched, and done wrong by this man that she dating. So it's more her need to be watching out for the man when she got kids than the man need to be worrying about her having kids. But people ain't thinking about that because they worship they daddy who passed away, because he told them a woman with kids is trash and she ought to accept whatever. So because he raised these men, when he come from a single parent home, he raised these men. So it's like, we don't need no more. We need that woman with kids to meet her man, so her son could have a masculine influence in his life if need be. And if not, we need her to be sane and whole so she could raise her son to be a man to the best of her ability, instead of going back to his daddy and him watching his nasty, sorry, toxic daddy. And then the man who said a man shouldn't be with a woman with kids, he tried to say that the other guy was using extremes, talking about abuse. Abuse is not an extreme. That abuse is like 7 out of 10 relationships. A woman is abused every 9 seconds. Abuse is not an extreme. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what kind of utopian world? Abuse, that's every relationship. That's every relationship. It's some form of abuse from a man. It's either emotional abuse, physical abuse, or verbal abuse at some point. It might not last the entire relationship, but at some point, a woman is going through some type of abuse. Social abuse, financial abuse, emotional, physical, verbal, religious, spiritual. At some point, even having Short King pray over her could be spiritual abuse. It's like, man, you say your own prayer, let me pray. I don't want your prayer to be my prayer, man. You ain't got to be praying over me all the time, man. You keep praying for height and hairline, man. I'm trying to get rid of the PCOS. Let me say my prayer, man. Like, can I pray? My goodness. Like, okay, pray. You want to pray? Pray. Let me have a relationship with the Lord. So now the woman could be going through spiritual abuse. And then here they misquoting scripture. They talking about the one man can't interpret the scripture, telling the other man he need a concordance. I say, oh my goodness. I say, Lord, Jesus be a rapture right now. So listen to me. Y'all have to be careful with this misinformation y'all is watching for entertainment. I bumped into a lady in the airport and she said, Tony, can you watch this interview And I said, I don't want to lose no brain cells, ma'am. I said, I tried to watch a little bit of it, but I don't want to lose no more brain cells. She said, I had to stop watching it, Tony. She said, I tried to watch it, but the stuff they were saying, they just arguing back and forth. She was like, what good is this? Who is this benefiting? Who is this helping? Who is growing from this? She said, I had to stop watching it. I say, kudos to you. Like, have enough sense. When you see ain't no wisdom in the room, to exit stage left. Like, go on, leave the room. If ain't no wisdom in the room, go on, get on. When the host can't even get them to answer the question and bring clarity, click on off of it. But I sat through there just because sometimes y'all be, I done comment on a couple of these interviews that y'all asked me to comment on, and then these people say, obviously Tony ain't watched the whole thing, just because I'm able to reduce it. I'm able to reduce it all the way down to the word salad nothingness that it was. People don't understand that. But when you start thinking on a higher level, and when you actually have application in your life, then you know what wisdom is and you know what noise is. You know the difference because you know what applies to real life, and not just your life, but to everybody's life, because you understand principle. So when you understand principle, then you're going to also understand wisdom. But if you don't understand that, so that's why these men, they only could speak from where they were. And whenever they was asked and challenged to understand where somebody else could be at, their mind could not go there. They could not, they were not malleable. They could not see it another way and understand that, yes, that other way could also be the norm. Not just because it don't make sense to you. You got to be able to understand. That's what leadership is. That's what a steward is. That's what a teacher is. You got to be able to understand that, yes, you can stand on what you stand on, but you got to make sure you standing on standards and not standing on preferences. But hey, this Tony Gas, my son about to be done, so let me get on up out of here and use this here good bathroom before we got to hit this here good road. But hey, God bless you, and we gonna talk soon. Hey, keep your head up in the midst of all this here stuff. All this here misinformation out here. Keep your head up. Know what you know. Learn what you don't. And know what you know. And don't let this stuff discourage you. When you hear all this nothingness that these men and women be out here yapping on about, know what you know. And don't get discouraged. Don't lose hope because somebody wanna all that right there with stuff that just don't hold no weight. And I know they be calling me, well, hey, why don't you come on with these two brothers? And y'all, nope. Nope. Bible said, don't cast your pearl to swine. I am not finna come on here and waste the breath that I'm gonna wish I had on my deathbed. Hey, God bless you. We'll talk soon.